Welcome back, everybody. Today we're doing a Valentine's gnome, and she's sitting on the back of a truck. And we'll be using acrylic paint, craft paint, or if you have artist grade, that's fine. And we'll be needing some magenta, some white, a light green, preferably kind of a limey green, uh, probably an olive color and a little bit of sienna color and black. And your paper, some colored pencils, and I think that's about it. Oh, markers, just your acrylic markers will do. All right, so get your stuff ready, and I'll start in just a couple minutes. So here's our craft paper that I'm using, or not really craft paper, but scrapbook paper. There's the word. And I've already printed on it the traceable that you can download. And the first thing I want to do is paint the back portions. So that would be the truck. And the truck's going to be in a magenta, and we're just going to do a very simple base coat of magenta, just right out of the tube type of thing. And as you know, magentas, reds, yellows, they tend to be a little bit on the transparent side. So that's one thing you have to take in consideration when you're picking out a paper, because you don't want something really dark, because it'll be hard to cover. Now with this one, I'm going to be kind of painting around some of these things, because there was quite a bit of detail to this one, so I don't want to have to redraw it. So it's very simple. We're not doing a whole lot of detail as far as shadows in the leaves and that type of thing. And I'll be using just a few brushes. This is a flat, and it's a number 6. And that should be big enough for the larger areas. And then I also have number 2 round for more of the tighter areas that I have to get into. So I'll be speeding this up, and then we'll get on to other parts. But I didn't think you needed to be seeing me real time doing just the basic a base coat, because I'm not doing everyone can do a base coat, right? All right, so I'll put on a little music, and then you'll can sit and enjoy, or you could paint along with me. That would be good too. And then you can stop the video whenever you are caught up and continue on. So this next part I'm going to be doing in the inside of the truck in the window, back window, just a little bit darker of a color. So I'm mixing some black with that magenta and getting darker color, and it just that's going to be more or less your shadow color that's inside the truck. This is pretty well the only area that I'll do this for that shadow. Just thought I'd pop in and let you know what I was doing there. Okay, so the next part is a little bit of the magenta with a little white and making a nice medium color pink. And this will be for, there's some gifts in the back of the truck, and part of the balloons are going to be done in this color. And then we'll mix some more white with that to do the hat on the gnome, and probably a few ribbons and maybe the other balloon. So after you're done with that light pink, we'll start off with a little bit white, and we'll do the one balloon and the beard, the license plate, and then maybe some designs on the packages. Okay, so now I'm doing the little slippers, and those are going to be another shade lighter in a pink. So the shoes, her hat, and I think that's about it. Maybe some stripes in the packaging. You can make your designs on the packaging, whatever pattern you want. You could even cut out jelly prints or pattern paper you have and put them in place. Do whatever comes to your imagination is the best. It doesn't have to be just paint. It can be mixed media. So I was thinking I needed another color. So this is where we put in the sienna color. So I've just added the sienna with a little bit of white to lighten it. And we get this kind of peachy, creamy color. It's quite nice. Just light enough that it's not too in your face, but it gives a little bit of more interest to the painting. I'll also be using this for her skin tone, so her nose and her little hands and bow, I believe, and another present down below that I'm doing just now. Okay, so I've decided to use the Posca markers for this part. Just the real finicky, the bows and some of the smaller stuff. You actually could have used your Poscas for all the little dots and stripes in the packaging too, if you wanted to. So I leave it up to you. If you want to use your paint and brush, then awesome. So now we're going to be painting in the wreath and the little dress, I guess you could say, that the gnome's wearing, and a few bows here and there. So right now I'm putting in just dots basically. So I've got a small round brush and I'm just using the shape of that brush and I'm just placing the brush down and lifting. So I'm going to mix a little bit of this lemonade, I think it was called, green, or a citron green would do, and then also this lighter olive green. So mix and match, dip your brush in both at the same time even, and it'll give a different effect with each pull you do. So it's kind of fun actually. And then what I'll be doing also is adding a few berries here and there on the wreath, and that'll be pretty well it for the wreath. So I've just added a few green circles on the cuffs of her shirt. That's pretty well all I've done there. And now I'm just doing the black tires. I pretty well have to wait for that green wreath to dry before I put the berries on. But yeah, just do very plain black, solid black for the tire. Now I've decided to make these little birds into blue jays. I could have done them as a cardinal, but I thought they might blend in too much with the truck color. So I picked a very soft, I think it's Wedgwood blue, and I'm just base coating again the whole thing in that color, and then we'll add white and a little bit of pen work to put more detail on them. Here comes the berries. So I just dipped my end of my brush in that magenta color and just putting a few, some clustered, some just single. You can put in as many as you want, and then let them dry, and we'll put a highlight on later. So now, as you can see, I'm just putting on some exaggerated highlights. This is an illustration after all. It's not a realistic painting. And it's fun. I like doing these. There's less stress involved with these paintings because they don't have to be realistic. And just putting in my Be Mine. You could put in whatever you want in the balloons. Make something up or just use what I'm doing and have fun with it. This is a little garland of hearts that I'm starting here. And I thought, well, I may as well put a little bit of pen work on the different parts of the truck and on pretty well everything. But it's not totally outlined. That's the one thing you have to remember. Do not outline everything. I want it to look more sketchy. So just here and there, I kind of dots and dashes around, broken lines, that type of thing. Some areas I put a little heavier line where I think the shadow should go. Or if something is very similar in hue, meaning the colors are very muted and they almost blend into each other, so there's not much definition between the two and it's hard to distinguish what it is, then I'll separate them with the black pen or marker, what this is. And just a few little details on the bottom of the beard. You don't want to do the whole beard in lines because then it's too heavy looking, and we want the beard to remain white, but it will have shadows, so you just kind of give a little bit of an indication at the bottom part, sides slightly, but don't go into the center of it. what I'm doing right now is I'm just putting down a bunch of spots of all the colors that I have in my palette. And it's kind of going to be like confetti or leaves or whatever. Confetti, I guess. And it's just sitting on the back of the pickup. And then here come the hearts. Just a few. I made mine white. You can make yours whatever. And they're hanging off that little wire that's on the back of the truck. So now I'm just putting in those strings that are holding the balloons. I like curls in mine. You can do whatever you want. There's a little bit of white on the breast of the blue jays. Just makes them stand out a little bit more. You could do whatever bird you want. You could do crows. Whatever, seagulls. And there's some hearts on the end of the hat. Now I've gotten my Prisma colored pencils. This one is strawberry or raspberry. I think it was raspberry. And I'm just kind of scribbling in between all those paint dots just to make that flatbed of the truck a little bit darker. And then wherever I think there might be some shadows, so under that mirror, there was a little bit on the top of the truck, inside the truck too. Just gives it a little bit more detail, but nothing that you're going to sweat over doing. I think this is my favorite part when I do all these details with a pen or colored pencil. It just seems to make everything come alive. So in here, I decided to use the black, real sharp and black colored pencil and just outline some of these leaves. They were kind of getting lost and I wanted them to show up a little bit more. So all you have to do is do some outlining. You'll find a lot of illustrations are very line oriented, and it's a great way to give more definition, or you want people to concentrate on a certain area, then use a strong line. And just adding a few squiggles too while I'm at it. It gives it more character. So this is where you can really add details and little bits. And it does make a big difference, I find. So we're almost getting to the end. We're going to put some white highlights on the berries and a little bit probably on her hat. maybe on the truck too. We'll see. So see how this little bit of white with the colored pencil just adds the nicest addition to highlights. So you've got your bright whites from the marker, and then just a little bit of dry, almost looks like dry brushing when you put the colored pencil on with the white. A bit of shine. Let's do the berries. Now I decided to put a little bit of green. This is an olive green, just to give a little bit of shadow on both sides of the arm, just to make it more dimensional looking instead of flat. As you can see, the slightest little thing seems to make a big difference. So I'm going to put a little bit of a shadow under the tires and the truck itself because it looks like it's floating. So this grounds it, and it's so simple to do. Make sure you do that when you do an illustration so it's not floating. There we go. So I hope you liked it. I hope you'll try it and maybe add a little extra things on the back of your pickup. It's so easy to do. This one's very simple, and it gives you an idea of how illustration is done. It's not about excessive realism type of drawing. It's basic, and they're so cute, and they're so quick and easy to do. So make sure you download this one and give it a try, because I think you'll be really surprised on how easy and how cute it ends up being. Thank you so much, everyone, for being my members, and I really appreciate your support. And if it weren't for you, I probably wouldn't be on YouTube. So thank you so much, and have a fantastic day, and don't forget to stay creative. See you next month.